Frank teaches DevOps. Frank teaches DevOps, my lovely viewers. Thank God it is Tuesday. Yeah. Alright guys, in today's video, I will be talking about GitHub Actions. Alright. And before I go ahead, I would want to encourage us to subscribe to our channel and always make sure you put on the notification bell so that whenever there is a new upload, right, you will be the first to get notified. Alright, without further ado, let's get into the nitty-gritty. Okay guys, today we are talking about GitHub Actions. However, in today's video, I talking about introducing GitHub Actions. I will want to come from a top level in the sense that I wouldn't want to go into a detailed introduction of GitHub Actions. Why? Because today's video is meant to satisfy some of my subscribers, right, who have pleaded for this particular video, all right, to be done. But be that as it may, I will still have to talk about the basic things you need to know before getting deeper into GitHub Actions. Alright, great. So let's get started. So today's video is solely on how to build and publish Docker images to DockerHub. Alright, you may have seen my previous video where I set up build and push Docker images, but this time around to Jenkins. Alright, use Jenkins. But today we will be doing the opposite. Alright, well, not the opposite, but an alternative. Alright, so top level, GitHub Actions is a CI/CD platform. GitHub Actions is a continuous integration, continuous delivery platform that allows you to automate your build processes, your build tests processes, the same way that Jenkins behaves. Alright, Jenkins is still a CI/CD platform that also allows you to automate your build, tests, and deployment processes. It's the same thing that GitHub Actions does. Alright, great guys, great. Let me just put a small definition by the side. Alright, so I will be abbreviating GitHub Actions with GA, right, because of how lengthy it is to type. So GitHub Actions is a CI/CD platform that allows you to automate, right, your build, tests, processes. Alright, build, test, processes. Simple. That's what GitHub Actions is all about. Alright, great. Now, before we get into the top level, which is the introduction, as in the basic component of GitHub Actions, things you need to know before actually going into GitHub Actions. Let's quickly talk about the architecture of what we're going to be doing today. So our architecture is very simple and straightforward. Now, here's my GitHub. This is my GitHub repository. GitHub repo. Alright, so on my GitHub repo, I have my code base. Obviously, I have my code base. My code could be written in any technology. It could be Java, PHP, React, Node, you name it. All right, great. Now I need to Dockerize. I need to automate the Dockerization of my code as an image using what? GitHub Actions. And here is GitHub Actions. This guy is GitHub Actions. GitHub Actions. All right, GitHub Actions. So on this GitHub Actions, I should be able to create a pipeline, right? A pipeline that will Dockerize this code. All right. After Dockerizing the code, and it will publish the code towards DockerHub. So here is DockerHub. So here is DockerHub. Simple, guys. Simple. So this is our architecture, all right? And you're going to be understanding every bit of it, all right? So now, without further ado, let's talk about the GitHub Actions components. I think I should move this downwards a bit, my architecture, right? Move it downwards. Oh, do I lose something? Yeah, I've lost something. Great. Okay, GitHub Actions components. Let me just do this. GitHub Actions components. All right, there are a few components you need to understand before really doing GitHub. All right, before talking about GitHub Actions. The first on that list is going to be the first on the list will be a workflow. The second on the list is going to be events. The third on the list will be jobs. And the fourth will be actions. Then after actions, we want to have runners. All right. Then maybe somewhere around here, jobs, I'll have steps. Yeah, let me just keep it that. All right. Now, great. So these are GitHub Actions components. These are GitHub Actions components. All right. Great. Now, before I go ahead describing each of these components, let me just put up something diagrammatically, all right, just to illustrate these components. All right. So great. Let me put up something very simple. Very simple. So come over here. I'll have something like events, and events. I'll have same line. I'll have something like a runner. Let me say a runner 1. Then copy and paste. I'll have a runner 2, and so on and so forth. You could have multiple runners. All right. I just want to illustrate something. So on this runner we have jobs. Let me do this. Okay. Let me. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So in here, we could have job 1. I'm going to explain, guys. Job 1. On this job, we have steps. Oh, sorry. Sorry, guys. Sorry. All right. I could have step 1. Step 1, run an action. Let me reduce this. Great, 7. That's enough. and copy and paste step 2, copy and paste step 3. All right, step 2, run a script. It could be run a script. Then step 3 could be another run action. Step 3, and so on and so forth. All right, I'll explain, guys. I'm going to explain. So copy and paste. We'll have something similar here. Okay, let's say this is job 2. Great, guys. All right, and okay, and this is the flow. That's and that's great. All right, so now I'm going to be using this setup to illustrate GitHub Actions components. The first is a workflow. All right, a workflow is a process. A workflow, I'm abbreviating it to WF. All right, is a process, all right, that runs one or more jobs. Let me reduce the font size a bit. Let me take something around 10, 9, perfect. All right, so a workflow is a process that runs one or more jobs. Now you can see from this diagram now, we have multiple jobs. We have about 2 jobs. We have job 1 and we have job 2. All right, so from the definition, it's a process that runs one or more jobs. The moment you are running any job, the moment you run a job, you've already run a workflow. You've already run a workflow. All right, and workflows are defined in a YAML file. Workflow are defined as YAML. All right, so in contrast, GitHub Actions uses what? YAML. So workflow are defined as YAML. Right? Great, guys. Now the next on the component is what? Event. So event is any activity that triggers a workflow to run. Any activity that causes the workflow to run. Any activity, TVT, that causes a workflow to run is known as an event, right? So an event could be in any form, right? An event could be a push. An event could be whenever there's a push, whenever there's a push. Let's say when you commit your code, all right? When you commit, you're making a push request, right? To your what? To your repository, to the branch of your repository. So whenever there is a push to the branch of a repository, it could trigger an event. All right, these are types of events. Now whenever there's a pull request of a repository, you're pulling from one request, it will trigger an event. And whenever there is what, it will trigger the workflow. And whenever there is a merge request, it will trigger the workflow. And also whenever you created an open issue, it will trigger the workflow. It depends on your scenario, but most often scenario that we've seen is whenever there's a push, which is a commit, which we're going to see. Whenever there's a commit to a branch of our repository, it will automatically trigger the workflow to start building, to start processing. All right, so that's an event. So any activity that causes a workflow to run, all right, such as, all right, a pull request, a push, and an open issue, right? There are a lot, guys. There are a lot of events. Now, if I go to Google and say GitHub Actions events, event that trigger a workflow, you see them, a lot of them, guys. Like I just said, we are going to be touching top level. All right, top level, guys, top level. You can see these are the events on my right hand side: create, delete, deployment, discussion, fork, public, pull request. These are different events that triggers workflow. All right, that triggers workflow. So there are so many, guys. There are so many. If I go to pull request, you see how it's been defined. Whenever there's a pull request, go to push. On push, go back to pull request. How is it called? On pull request, type: is the pull request open? Is it closed? Or have you reopened it? Alright, great. Right? Great. So a lot, guys. Maybe when you have time, I would suggest you kindly go and look on the different types of events you could get on GitHub Actions. Alright, great. Now, after events, we will be looking at jobs. What are jobs? So, job is a set of steps in a workflow that is executed on a runner. Right? Jobs are sets of steps in a workflow, WF, in a workflow, all right, that is executed. A job, let me remove the S. Job or jobs, all right. Jobs are a set of steps in a workflow that is executed on a runner. We're coming to talking about runner, what runner is. Alright. So jobs are a set of steps. You can see now we have job 1 and job 2. So this job 1 have their corresponding steps, which we are going to be seeing any moment from now. Has their corresponding steps. So that's what job is. Then steps are commands that you run within a job. Steps are commands that are executed within a job, right? So steps are commands that are executed within a job. All right, within a job. So all right, so the next on our list is actions. So actions are, let's get started. So actions are sets of custom applications, right? There are custom applications that performs some set of repetitive tasks. All right, actions are a set of custom applications that performs frequent repeated task, right? Okay, so that this is what actions are, right? And there are different kinds of actions. There are actions for everything. GitHub Actions, as the name implies, it is highly dependent on actions. It is actions that you use to perform a lot of tasks. Now we are saying that we want to build our code base, Dockerize it, and push it to DockerHub. Now for we to connect to DockerHub, for you to push to DockerHub, there's an action for that activity. There is an action. Now, in your pipeline process, you must do a checkout. A checkout is a process of downloading your code base into your CI/CD environment. Before you do that in GitHub Actions, there is an action for that purpose. So we would be seeing different actions. But let's just take a look. Let's just take a look at. Let's go to Google one more time. All right. On Google, I'll say GitHub Actions. All right. GitHub Actions. Understanding GitHub Actions. Where can I see that thing? Actions. Okay, let me put it like this. Called actions. GitHub Actions. If I could see something. Actions, GitHub Actions. Marketplace. Oh, I have not seen this thing. I think I'll see it inside. I will show us, guys. I'm going to show us. All right. Don't be weary. I will show us different actions that you have within GitHub Actions. The last on the list is runners. Right? Okay. Runners are servers that runs your workflow. It's as simple as that. All right. Runners are servers, or you can call it agents. If these were Jenkins, all right. If these were Jenkins, all right, I would have called it agent, right? You can call it agent, but within the GitHub Actions context, it is not referred as agents, right? But they are referred as runners. Runners as computers, right? They are virtual machines. They are virtual machines that are used to run your workflow. So runners are servers, right? That are used to run your workflows. Great, guys. I think this is everything about GitHub Actions components. These are everything about what GitHub Actions components. All right. So without further ado, let's now go a step further in looking at how to create a workflow. The next step will be how to create a workflow. All right. So we are getting started, guys. All right. So I'll go to my GitHub account. All right. I think I have something. Okay, let's go to my GitHub account, GitHub. Let's go to my GitHub. Then quickly I go to my organization, React demo. So there's a code I will be making use of, React demo. All right. So now this is my code base. So this is where we are now. From our diagram, from our architecture, this is where we are. We are on what? GitHub repository. This is where we are. Okay, this is where we are. All right, this is where we are. Great, guys. Now the first thing we need to do when creating a workflow is to create a directory. Right, we need to create a GitHub/workflows directory, and in this directory you're going to create a file called our workflow, and that will be in YAML. Let's just say build docker.yaml. Right, build docker.what YAML. So let's go to our GitHub account to do that. All right, so I'll come over here, I'll add a file, click to add a file. All right, so I'll say what dot GitHub. Since I'm creating a directory, I'll put /. The moment I put a / after a name, a file name, GitHub automatically turns it into a directory. All right, that's .github workflows. That's to come with an S, because you can have multiple workflows, multiple YAML file in a workflow. All right, then / a file name, build-docker.yaml. This is it, guys. So the moment I do this, on my right hand side, these are the actions. You start seeing different actions. These are actions I wanted to show us. Right, you start seeing different actions. Now remember, we want to build and push towards to DockerHub, right? So I will be making use of these actions from the GitHub marketplace. All right, great. This is what I wanted to show us. All right, so great. So now we want to start writing our workflow, but before then, let's now, all right, let me duplicate this page. I want to be showing you my code base. So this is just a simple React app. Okay, I have not written this app. I downloaded this app from a source, and just for testing purposes. Okay, but I wrote the Docker file for the app. So the Docker file is just simple thing, right? Simple, great. So using Node version 20, my working directory is this line 5 copies everything, my package.json file and package log.json file into my working directory. Then line 7 installs my dependencies. Then line 9 copies everything. All right, all thing you see here, it copies into the image. Then line 10 runs a builds the application. Then this exposes the ports. Then finally line 14 creates a process, right, to keep the image alive. All right, great, guys. So that's the Docker file. Okay, great. So now let's come back to workflow. So in this workflow, I'll just show us the step in writing the workflow. All right, now a workflow, let me bring out the skeletal structure of the workflow. First, you have a name, column, enter. The next is you define the event. All right, you use the keyword on to define an event that will trigger the workflow. The next comes jobs. You can have multiple jobs. That's why it comes with what? An S, jobs. This is the structure, guys. Name on jobs. All right, this is the basic structure. However, there are more advanced structure, but just to get things quick up and running, we are giving us a basic structure. So name, I can define the name of my workflow. I could just say build and publish, build Docker image, build Docker, build and publish Docker image, right? So that's the name of the workflow, build and publish Docker image. Now the next line, which is line 2, I need to define what the event, on which command should my workflow run. On a push, it means that whenever there is a push, there is a commit to the branch of my repository, this event should get triggered. To trigger what? This event should run to trigger the workflow. The event should run to trigger what? The workflow. So on push, I want the workflow to get triggered. Whenever there's a commit to my repository, there should be what? A triggered workflow. Now the next online is the jobs. I need to define the name of the job, the first job. My first job, maybe I want to call this job build. Okay, build, keep it simple, small letters, guys. All right, build. Okay, now this job needs to run on a server, which is a runner. come down, you have to specify the runner. So you have to tell GitHub that you want this job to runs on. So the keyword runs on is used to specify the type of runner to use. And GitHub Actions has two kinds of runners. You have GitHub hosted runners and self-hosted runner. For the sake of this course, alright, for the sake of this video, I won't be using self-hosted runner, right? I'll be using what? GitHub hosted runners. And we have a lot of them, guys, a lot. Okay, we have Ubuntu, we have macOS, we have Windows, right, and the likes. Okay, so build on Ubuntu latest. Now, if you want to know more about the hosted runners, you can go to Google and say GitHub runners. GitHub runners. Using GitHub hosted runners, you see different runners. I can also look here about GitHub hosted runners. Right? About GitHub hosted runners. I have it here. Then on my right hand side, you come to supported runners and hardware resources. Come over here. Then you can now go to now these are the runners. Alright? So these are the runners. So for Linux, we have Ubuntu latest, Ubuntu 22.04 and Ubuntu 20.04. For Windows, we have the likes. For Mac, the same thing, and etc. etc. Alright? Etc. etc. And same way, there are packages that comes pre-installed on these runners. I don't know where I can see that link. I saw that link sometime. Configure hardware related. No. There are packages that comes pre-installed on these runners. Alright, maybe that will be subject for another day. Alright, great. Alright, let's support that software. Okay, I think it is here. Using pre-install. Okay, runner images. Not yet. Sorry. No, yeah. So that should be a subject for another day. So don't waste much time. Alright? Don't waste much time. That should be subject for another day. Right? So great. So let's go back to what we have. Perfect. So we are using what? Ubuntu latest. And the next one will be steps. So on this job build, what are we doing? The first thing first. The first step is definitely I have to download my code. I have to do a git clone. Alright? I have to do a git clone to download the code so that GitHub Action will get the code to work with. It will get this code base in my repository to work with. So for that, I have to use a checkout. So my first step would be code checkout. Now, that's the name of the first step. Now, what is this step going to do? So the checkout uses and actions, right? There's a keyword called uses. So we're going to go to the marketplace now to see a sample code on using checkout actions. So I'll just come here and say checkout. I'll type checkout. Let's see. So you can see I'm getting one checkout here now. Check out a GitHub repository at a particular version. Alright? So this is what I will do. I'll right click and open it. Okay, it doesn't allow opening new tab. Just click on there. Click here, it will play within here. It will play within here. Now this is how you use checkout within GitHub Actions. This is how you use checkout actions within GitHub. So it says what? Uses action. Here is the action name. Copy it. Come over here. Column. You paste that. Action / checkout at version 1.4.1.5. Last time I used this checkout, it was version 4. They've increased the version, the release. Now, if you need to configure this action, you now use this keyword with you configure whatever you want to configure. But we are going to move forward. We are going to see at when we shall come to Docker action, we shall look at with keyword, how to use keyword to configure a particular action. So now here we are downloading our code base. It's like you're doing something like git clone. That's what you're doing in this step, right? Let me just give a small space. Great. So this is what you're doing in these steps, right? Now the next step would be Docker login, right? Before you push your Dockerize your image and push to DockerHub, you must log in into Docker. All right, you must log in. So Docker login uses an action as well. It's you need to log in. All right, so we'll come here and we'll search for what? Come back to search results and search for Docker login. So this is Docker login action. Let's click on it. So to show us how to use that and the action. So Docker login is docker/login action version 3. So copy this guy, copy, come over here and paste it. Great, guys. Now we need to configure the login. We need to configure the login with a Docker username and a Docker password. And this is what they have here. You can specify the registry, though registry is optional. Username is still optional, but we have to do it. All right, username and password. So now let's come down here, enter. I'll say with, enter again. All right, with what? With username. You have to use whatever key they have specified. If you don't use this, it will throw up an error. Username, you specify your username. Then password, you also specify your password. All right, so great. So now imputing your password or username on GitHub is very risky because it exposes you to security attacks. Right, so for that reason we are going to go into GitHub secrets. We are going to create this username and password as secrets. All right, we're going to be creating the username and password as what? GitHub secrets. So for that, I'll go to my GitHub account. Let me close this, guys. Close. Great. I'll go to my GitHub account. Come over here. Come to settings. Not this side. Sorry, guys. I have to go to the organization. Sorry, the repository level. On the repository level, come to settings. Then come to secrets and variables, then go to actions. Right, so under actions I can now create what? A secret for this repository, specifically for that repository. So I'll click on what? New secret. I'll specify the name. So my username to my DockerHub is Frankie's Infotech. Then the secret name, I could just say I could call it username. All right, username. I'll add the secret. So the moment I add the secret, everything goes mask. Right, it's now masked. Right, great. So I'll create another secret. So the next secret I'll create is my DockerHub registry password. All right, so I'll be pausing the video because of it's a personal information. I'll pause the video, and once I'm done, I'll be right back. So guys, you can see I have created my password off recording. All right, off recording. So now I'm going to call these variables, these secrets, within the pipeline. So I'll go back to the pipeline. To call these variables now, I'm going to use a GitHub expression context. It's called GitHub expression. Like I rightly said, there are other things I need to discuss. All right, maybe when I will come up with my comprehensive GitHub course. All right, GitHub Actions course. All right, so now I'm going to use an expression, and to use an expression we use $ open brace space. All right, the variable, the secret name. The secret name is username. However, to call it properly, I'll use the keyword called secrets dot the secret name to tell you that it is, to tell GitHub that this is what, to tell GitHub Action that this is actually what, a secret. I'll do the same thing with the password. All right, open brace secrets dot password. That's all, guys. So with this, I would comfortably log in from my GitHub to Docker. All right, great. So I've configured that. The next step will be to build the image. All right, let's now build the image. Build image. Now, what are we doing? We're going to be running some commands. Run pipe. Now, I'm using this pipe because I want to run multiple lines of statements. All right, Docker statements, multiple lines of Docker statement. Okay, I will show us why I'm using that pipe. I'll show us quickly. So now I need to build this. Now say docker what? Docker build -t. All right, my image name, I could call it React image. I can tag it, let's say version 1. All right, then I specify my context where I have my Docker file, which is in my current directory. That's why I'm using the dots. The next will be Docker. So after building it, I need to tag it. So Docker tag tag React img version 1 to Frankie's infotech / I could say demo react version 1 as well. So this is what's happening. So this is Frankie's infotech. So this is Docker's routine. All right, Docker says that if you need to publish any image from your local repository to their registry, all right, you will have to tag the image in this format. The format will be your username of your Docker registry followed by the repository name. So this repository name does not exist. However, all right, Docker is going to create this repository demo react on my DockerHub account. All right, so once that is done, I will now do a push. I will now do a push. Docker push. I'm pushing this whole guy. I'm pushing this whole guy to my. That's it, guys. That's it. This is it, guys. So this is the entire script on how to build, Dockerize, and publish Docker images towards DockerHub from GitHub Actions. Great. Let's commit. So the moment I commit, this workflow is going to get triggered because of this event push. All right. So commit and commit. So now, how do we check if this thing is actually working? I'll go to there's a button called Actions here. I'll click on Actions. The moment I click on Actions, you see that that's already getting started. Now this is the what's it called? This is the workflow name: build and publish Docker image. I'll open the file. The workflow is now getting built. All right. So let's open this. The job that we specified. Let's open this job. All right. So there was a successful login. Let's open the login. Login was succeeded, right? And yeah, let's open each of everyone. This is the checkout stage where the code was actually downloaded. The code base was downloaded. So this checkout does git clone, what we normally do, all right, into the runner. Great. The login actually log into Docker environment. Then the build image, all right, you can see Docker build image tagging. This was built, okay. After that, what came next was an actual push, right? Was a push to DockerHub Container Registry. So great, guys. So this build was successful, very, very successful, right? Now let's now go to our Docker side to check this image. So now I'm going to hop onto my DockerHub, hub.docker.com. I will sign in to my account, sign in, Frankie's Infotech, sign in. Alright, so I'm inside now. Let's check now. You can see we already have it here. Demo React. So if I open it, So that's the repository, and in that repository we have what? We have a version. We have our image. So you can see how we've been able to automate, alright, automate the build process of our code base using GitHub Actions to DockerHub. So far so good, guys. You've seen everything. So we have implemented this. So we now have our image on DockerHub. So if I want that image, if I want to download this image, I'll come to the the pull. I'll click on the tag. The moment I click on the tag, I'm going to see a pull command. Do I have a pull command? No, I don't have. Go back to React. Alright, so just copy this. Let's just copy it. Copy. Let me come to my base machine. I will pull it. Let's just say a Docker pull. The tag is v1. So this is my own base machine. So pull. But before I do that, let's do a Docker images to check the images that I have in my environment. You can see I have something else. Hello world, PHP. I have something else which is far from this I want to pull now, right? So demo React. Do I have demo React? No. So Docker pull, copy, paste. Let's see if everything goes fine. We should have that. Alright, you can see the pulling is now ongoing. So we're now pulling the React image that was pushed to DockerHub registry. So that is it, guys. That is it. So in our next video, we are going to see how we can replicate the same setup, but this time around it will be what? To AWS ECR. So this will be in our next video. Without further ado, I want to bring this session to a close, and thank you guys for your support. And then I still have to encourage you guys, please share our channel within your community. Alright, share our YouTube channel within your community. It is when we have these subscriptions, alright, that we are gingered to give more, to give back. Alright, we need to give back, but something should trigger that behavior, right? And the behavior will be by subscribing to our channel. Alright, thank you guys, thank you, and see you in our next video.